Hi everybody, my name is Queen. I hope you're all doing good. I'm actually going to be interviewing Gia Lili and we're going live literally now. So I am based in London and Gia's from my hometown, and where she's from is Southampton. That's where I was born. So literally we're both from the same place, and my client Gia Lili is going to be talking in this live stream about what she has achieved in the media in regards to, like some of the media opportunities she's had. Like, she's gonna be talking about the fact that she did join me for some of my courses, and just she's done some of my free challenges. She's done like free courses as well. So there has been a combination of different things that she has done, and she's in my PR and media bundle as well. Woohoo! The PR media bundle is the genius course for all women entrepreneurs, helping you to break into the media and attract all the publicity that you want. And I am so delighted that she's in the bundle, and like, it's literally going to grow very, very well. I'm just wondering, am I just gonna see if she is coming on. Just quickly see if I can invite her. Okay, so not sure what's going on in regards to, like, I sometimes don't really see when people are coming on anymore. Like before, it was always very clear when people were jumping on, but now I can't always see, because sometimes you lovelies like stuff and I don't see anything until after. So yes, I'm excited about the interview today, because she's going to be able to share her story, share what she does, just all of these good things. I think I can see Gia now, so I'm going to invite her. Oh yeah, she's here. Woohoo! Yay! Gia is here, so I'm going to join me. So let's do this. I keep touching my hair. I'm going to be changing I'm going to actually redo my hair very soon, so it's going to look nice and fresh. Okay, so it says add in at the moment. Let's hope that she is able to connect. Yes, so Gia Lili is yay! You are able to connect.
I'm here.
Welcome. Actually, we have matching lipstick. Can you believe this?
Oh, is that funny?
It is so the same colour. Woo!
We did not plan that.
No, we didn't plan it, and it's happened just organically.
Wow, funny that.
Yes, it literally is the same, like literally almost the same. So thank you so much, Gia, for being here, for being on this amazing client feature, PR media success story, all of the good things. Thank you so much. It is a pleasure to even be on video. We haven't had a video chat like this before, have we?
We haven't.
We've done it audio.
Yeah.
We've done it on audio, but not. We haven't seen each other, like, so that alone is also wonderful.
Yes.
And I just really, yes, I really love what you do as a love and relationship coach. That's what Gia Lili does. And, she's from Southampton, Hampshire. She basically helps, couples to really ignite love and romance, and, basically have wonderful relationships, which I think is really important, because there's so many people in relationships and they're not happy. So Gia actually sparks that relationship. I mean, as in gives them those strategies and those tips and those ideas to have those powerful relationships. So Gia, I would love for you to talk a bit about, like, if I've missed anything, and just introduce yourself, and then I'm going to ask you a few questions.
Oh my goodness. On the hot spot. Okay, right.
Yes.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Queen, for having me on here. And yes, this is the first time we're actually connecting visually, because we've done a lot of work together. But we'll talk more about that in just a minute. Yeah, so what you said, yes, it's true. I do support couples, whether they're married or actually in a relationship and things are getting a bit monotonous, how it can happen in relationships. Like, you've been together a long time, things can just sort of plod along, and you can sort of end up taking each other for granted, and things can look a bit flat, and it's all a bit samey. So I do help them to sort of reignite their relationships, but I also work with single ladies who haven't dated for quite a while. So it's like helping them to get back on the saddle as such, and like to get
Right.
into, back into dating and relationships again. So I support with that also. But yeah, that's what I do.
Yay! I love to get into the, real spirit, especially the festive spirit, because it's here right now.
Of course.
So I will be cheering you on in terms of, getting excited about what you do, and also getting excited in regards to the responses that you give, because I'm excited to hear what you're going to say. No, but I really think that what you do is profound. And if you're listening, ladies and gents, this is, Gia Lili. Like I said, she's a love and relationship coach. So you definitely want to check out what she does after this interview. So thank you so much once again. So what I really loved about you
Hmm.
is the very fact that you were, in a way, I kind of sense that you had some kind of curiosity, or whether it was like this kind of, oh, I think I should do this, and let me find out more. So because I just even think that sometimes people aren't even willing to be curious, and like they're not willing to explore an idea that or explore a download that's come to them. So if they feel like, maybe I should do that course, or maybe I should hire that person, or maybe I should ask more questions. I love the very fact that we were able to have like a good chat about it, and and you were willing to sort of like hear more about like the Master in Media program and about PR and media in general, and put yourself forward to just give yourself that time to find out, because even if it wasn't right for you, at least you had given yourself that time. So what made you decide to even jump on a call with me in the first place?
Okay, well, I was watching your videos for a time, and actually, I found you through Jade Hicks, the lovely Jade Hicks, and
Oh,
yeah, so I actually
yes,
found you through that interview, yeah, and I loved
brilliant.
your vivacious, bubbly personality. I thought, my goodness, I can really get along with her. So the first thing I found was that I found some kind of connection, like an affiliation to you, and
Okay.
I have to say, being a Brit, a fellow Brit, that also did it as well. And and
Yes.
I found that the more that I found out about you, I found so many commonalities. I thought this is just spooky.
Yes, I hear you.
Mm, yeah. So, and because there was that connection like that, and I was interested in PR and media. Actually, I was connected to, and I still am connected, a lovely lady who's in the PR and media world as well. And like, and to be honest with you, like she primed me a lot.
Right.
Before our paths crossed, I had a lot of exposure to her brilliance also. And
Yeah.
so I did have an idea of what the PR and media world was about. And because I was really closed off to that previously about what that could look like, because I was doing the whole, well, excuse me, like, oh, well, how can that work for my business? How can it fit in?
Mm,
I just couldn't see how I could make it work. And so that's
right.
where my hesitation was at first.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and then, like I said, I had exposure to this lovely lady who is, really a renowned expert, especially like over in the US. And I remember her
Right.
saying to me, really, it'd be a good idea for you to, like crack your homeland as such. And I thought, okay, well, if that's the case,
Wow.
and then I found you. I thought, this would be a great way to get into the UK market as well. Because I went
Mm.
straight for global. I didn't do the local and national. Yeah,
Mm.
thing with me. I find that I keep
You went for it.
I do. That's the kind of, that's me though. I've always been like that. I've never done the
Yes.
middleman thing. I've always gone straight to the top.
Right. That sounds good.
So I thought,
It's good. I want women to go global. Definitely.
yes, exactly. So, there was always that global appeal, and I'm very internationally minded anyway. So I had no
Mhm.
problems with that. It was more like, okay, so let's look at the logistics. And because I was online for about 3 or 4 years, I thought, I had like a closed mind in terms of, and I admit it, I had a closed mind in terms of, okay, well, I've only got to stick to online, so therefore, what can I
Mhm.
do? And when we started working together, and what really got me curious was that because you're in the pageant world as well, so like your events, you're out there, you're hands on, and I knew really that was something that I was avoiding. As social as I am, I was avoiding it.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, so that probably drew
Yeah.
me to you as well. I thought, I need to, I need to really get I really need to get hold of your expertise and see how I can make the offline, the real world stuff work apart from the offline stuff. So that's what I
That
did.
is so good. No, that's brilliant. Do you know what I really find to be quite interesting? I
Mm,
believe that the more women are online
mm,
and the more we sort of stay online and stay online, stay online, we may, like you said, you are very much, a social person and so on and so forth. But what I find that can happen or that does happen
mm.
is that women it can actually eventually become a bit socially awkward because they're
Yes.
so used to, yeah, because they're so used to working from home online or, kind of working in coffee shops
Mm.
and it's all good to do that, but if they don't get out there and go to these no, I'm not talking about those boring network events from the 90s where people just sit there and give out like 10 business cards, but go into events where they can meet people and connect, a bit like when you go to a wedding, you enjoy it, events like that where you're going to enjoy it. The Kardashians go to red carpet events and I'm sure that they're not sitting there bored. They
Mm,
absolutely love it.
mm,
You
mm.
can tell they love it, that's why they keep going. So I think that if women can find events to go to, like conferences or seminars, and I know that some women do go for it, but I think women sometimes think they have to wait to hit a certain income level, and then they think,
Yeah,
okay, once I get to 6 figures and 7 figures, then I'll start going to these conferences and Tony Robbins events or Brendan Bashar events or whatever it would be, Oprah's, Super Soul Sunday. Well, what's really stopping women from doing it now is the question. And I guess some women, hearing this today, hearing you, they may actually want to take the plunge to begin to work on that strategy and work on steps towards being in the media, like you said, because it's
mm.
something that, in a way, you kind of have to take different steps to receive the different results.
Totally, totally.
Yes. Okay, so the second question I would love to ask you is like you've done quite a few of the courses. So you've
Mm.
done some even free ones as well. Like you've done some of the free ones, you've done some of like, you've done Master in Media. Tell me about, and even we've had a bit of one-on-one as well. So tell me what you've really found to be valuable in like the courses. We talk about the PR media bundle after, but
Okay.
in the one-on-one or whether it be the other paid courses or even the free ones, what did you find to be super valuable? 3 things, please.
Oh my gosh, only three. That's not fair. There's so much
Oh,
though. There's
I love
so
this.
much though. Well,
Really? Oh my gosh.
okay, so
Thank
let's start
you.
with the one-on-one, if that's right with you. Now,
Yeah, that's perfect.
you know, I don't believe in saying things for the sake of saying it. I don't believe in just sugarcoating or just glossing over stuff or anything like this.
Mm,
People who know me know that I speak very clearly and very sincerely.
yes.
Okay, so when I say this,
Mm.
I'm saying this because it's true. And yeah, I haven't spoken yet.
I know, I need to be careful in case there's something. No, I'm just
Don't get too comfortable. No, I was only kidding. No,
exactly.
I'm only kidding. No, what I found, like, especially like with the one-to-one work that we've done, it's like you are just gold. Your brain is what I would pay thousands for. Seriously, just
Oh
having
my
access
God,
to you,
thank you.
seriously, just to have access to your brilliance, it's amazing
Thank
because I know that I've touched base with you a few times and like, okay, Queen, how do I, sort of, how do I maneuver this? How do I manage
you.
this? What do
Mm.
I do when, this happens, or it was like a couple of days ago, I had a
Mm.
situation, I reached out to you, I was like, okay, so what's the best way to handle this?
Yeah.
And it's because I had access to you and your golden brain that I was able to like manage the situation.
Mm.
Because, nobody likes to come across being pushy, but then at the same time, and I know you've said this before as well, it's like, okay, so um, it's trying to find that balance between, okay, so
Yeah.
don't be pushy, but at the same time, don't give up on it either. So
Mm.
it's
Yeah.
things like
Definitely.
that because there's only a certain amount of times that you would chase up with anything, like if you don't hear back from a client or whatever it might be. Generally, there are different
Exactly.
rules, aren't there? Like we would know when to back off, or we would know
Yeah.
what is
Just like you
busy,
get
what
a point.
isn't. Yeah, but because you had explained to me that with the media, you know, sometimes they can take ages to get back to you, or you do have to nudge them a few times, or that kind of thing. So it's like you do have to be patient. And this kind of thing you wouldn't necessarily think of. You think, oh well, I reached out to them twice, they didn't say anything, so therefore, you know, forget it. It's not like
Yeah,
media though, is it? So
no,
it's
it's not.
things like that. So because you've got the insider knowledge, because obviously, like, you have so much experience within that field, I would never have got come to that conclusion on my own without your help, without your expertise. So this is what I mean. Having access to you
Thank
is
you.
invaluable, totally. So yeah, and it's like the strategy side as well. So I know that we've worked together, like you've you know, although you've heard from me like the kind of things that I like, but you've been very
Mm,
honest. It's like if I'd chosen something that you knew that actually the media wouldn't necessarily find me appealing in a particular sense. I mean, it's like, for instance, I was talking about, was it radio? I was talking about TV as well. And I
yeah,
said, well, I'm nervous about that. And what you said to me is like, well, Gia, they would love you on TV because you've got that charisma. So
yes,
it's like you,
exactly.
yeah. So you've really helped me to see, you know, like, okay, through the eyes of media people. It's like, okay, so like, what are they looking for? And that kind of thing.
Mm,
Matching up my expertise, let's say, and like the way that I shine, my natural way of being, to the best channels or the best mediums of using media. So that was really, really helpful too.
yes, let's just get like straight to the one point that I want to mention
Okay.
is you just belong in the like I think you're meant to be in the BBC, on the BBC, whichever one. So BBC Radio, BBC TV, and of course moving forward, you belong there as far as I'm concerned. I feel like it's not an easy thing to say someone belongs in on BBC because that is the best. Like that's just the Guardian, the BBC. You know, there's some certain shows or channels, platforms that are so big that you, for someone to be on that platform, they must be at a certain level. And I think that sometimes people think that just because they think that, oh, you know, like when they get to a certain point on social media, then they'll be very attractive to the media. But sometimes the media, like, you were just born for this. You're just meant to do this. And so I always tell you, I'm like, oh, you need to be on the BBC and so on and so forth. And so I totally hear what you're saying, and I really appreciate it and adore it. And I just love what you said about like the brains, because it's true. It's a bit like you know, I'm going to be interviewing another lady, and she gave me some really good branding strategies, and I was like, wow, I didn't even think of things like that. So I do believe that sometimes, you know, when somebody has spent, like I spend time, I sometimes speak to some ladies, and
Mhm.
I'll be like, do you know that this happened in the media? Do you know that this happened? And they're just like, what are you even talking about? Never even like, I don't even watch stuff like that. Like I'm not even, I don't know what, like I'm so busy doing what I'm doing, and I'm like, I don't know what's going on in the PR world, and I'm like, wow, am I like the only one that sort of sits down and analyzes these videos, reads these articles, reads these books? And it's like, yeah, you know, it's in, not the only one, but it's in, unless someone is really being told to, like, you need to really do this, you need to spend all this time, like 1 hour, whatever it be, you know. And obviously when I started my, you know, TV experience as a TV presenter in BBC, I was actually told to do that. Like I was told you need to spend this whole day researching. So it
Mm.
wasn't even a thing of like, oh, spend 1 hour. It was like, no, the day. And so it was like one day was specifically designated to do that type of work, the research, the studying, the figuring out, like, you know, who do you want to interview for the show, and so on and so forth. And of course I had like people to assist me, producers and so on and so forth, when we were doing the filming and editing and all of that. But that was like a different thing. So I do appreciate what you're saying, and yes, I do want women to definitely come along and pick these brains, because it's true. Like Gia, you would know a lot about love and relationship things I would not know that I can get from you, or
Mhm.
I can ask you and get that valuable information. And so I totally hear what you're saying. So I guess the next question I would love to ask you is, you are doing the PR media bundle.
Yeah.
How are you finding the PR media bundle? Like, what are the strengths of it? What, and also, what would you like me to add that's not in it as well?
Oh my goodness. Which question would you like me to answer first?
I know I always ask two questions or three at one time. I definitely, funny enough, it's so funny because, like I said to you before, one of the things that women have to be very careful of is when we do break into the media. One of the things, I don't even know if you know I've said this, but one of the things I always say is the good news is when it's television, they will chop it, so they can just chop out things and so on and so forth. But with live stream, we're just like,
We're in
not
the flow.
doomed, but it's like whatever you say, you know, television, they'll chop all the and just make it sound like really fantastic. So I always say that every time you do an interview, you have to sort of like go back to the basics and research again and remind yourself of how to do interviews or how to be interviewed, because you'll make all these mistakes on television if you don't remember to keep going back to the foundation. So like when I'm doing my live stream thing, the truth comes out, as in the truth of how I can ask double questions or whatever that wouldn't really come out maybe on television. But then again, I must also admit that when I'm on television, I become a different person too. So I do also think you step into character when you do the media things. Okay, definitely. But the question I specifically want to ask first is, what did you find to be the strengths of the PR media bundle?
Okay, well, really the content was absolutely queen. I will say queen because it's playing on your name here. But yeah, because people say content's king, but actually in this case it's queen, literally. Because it is your content, and like your audios, and you know, because it's like your genius in there. But you know, really it's like everything that you've got in there. I mean, I even haven't gone through the entire bundle because there is so much great stuff. And now when I say so much great stuff, like you don't necessarily have to go through all of it. What I've noticed about it really is that the PR and media bundle will meet you wherever you're at. So if you're absolute beginner to PR and media, it'll help you. If you're more experienced, it will help you there as well. It's like you don't have to go through topic by topic or, you know, every single thing step by step. But it has like really key, like core, what's the word, elements, chapters, whatever you want to call it, which are really relevant. Let's say, for instance, you were saying about it earlier on, actually, it's like the do's and don'ts in media, like media etiquette. That was brilliant. That was absolutely brilliant.
Thank you.
Yeah. You know, that is so important as well, because I remember asking you a question on that once. It's like, okay, I think it was something I asked you something like, well, you know, is it appropriate to laugh? You know, like how do you handle laughing on camera and this kind of thing, you know? And I remember you saying things like, you know, don't clap, or like when you're hosting on TV and this kind of thing. It's all right in the audience, but as the host, don't clap.
Yeah.
You know, so
exactly.
it's little things like that which make all the difference, you know, because I remember you saying like, especially with TV, because like you've got a whole team that's working. It's not just you have to think about everybody else and their logistics as well. So it's really good to know the do's and don'ts, because you don't want to hack anyone off.
Exactly. I mean, let me give you one example of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, just to chip in with what you're saying. I remember a time when I was doing a live show and it was a one take. It wasn't a live show. It was just a one take. So meaning that they were going to film it just once, no editing, nothing like that. And they had a limited time. 1 hour is designated for the show. And so I went in there, and usually with my producer, you know, when we're filming normally on television, because it's not a one take, I could just be like, oh, can we do it again? Or I can start laughing and just, you know how the films are, when you're doing a film, they do that all the time. They laugh, they start again, they laugh. Yeah. But this was a one take. Yeah. So this was, I don't think I realized that this was a one take. I think I thought it was just one that we're going to edit. And I was, you know, we had a big audience, and I was at the front, and we had a co-presenter. So it wasn't just me, co-presenter. We had two guests in the front of us or the side, and then we had the big audience. And I was like, you know, started the, you know, show, and then I was like, sorry, and he started again like that, and I laughed, but nobody was laughing, and it was like everybody was so serious. They were like, oh, you know, like, as in, why did you do that? Like, and even the audience were like, oh my gosh, how, in a way they were like thinking, they acted as if they thought, wow, is that what you did? Did you not like just keep going and you want to start again? What? And I was like, oh my gosh. And so it made me realize that there is that sometimes you can easily just maneuver, but sometimes it's like, whoa, you shouldn't have done that, and that is not acceptable and okay. And I think that if women know in advance that something like that happens. Like, you need to know, is this the one take? Is this a recorded show? Is it a live show? So that if you do need to edit something out,
Excuse
you can tell them, like, as in you'll be able to tell them and know that can happen. Sometimes people have wanted to edit things out and it just hasn't happened because it is not going to happen. And like you said, it could be expensive to edit it. So because it's money. Every time something's edited, it's money. If they didn't, like, plan for that, they have to hire in a producer, an editor, or someone to go over something. So it really is, so like you said, important to know those little things. And I guess that's the reason why we have some people in the media that have ruined their whole career just because they've gone and said one wrong thing, said one thing that was wrong, or did something, and that was enough. I remember one of the models, I think she's a British model, and she's like a celebrity, and I remember she went on a show, and it was such a small thing that she did, and what it was is that she was on a very big charismatic show, the news or something like that, some kind of big morning breakfast show, and it was an American one. And so she had flown in, and probably from China or something, somewhere in Asia. I remember it was China or Japan, and she was probably just exhausted, as in the whole jet lag thing. But what happened is her energy on television was more of like, oh, hi, I'm so happy to be here. And they didn't like the energy.
Wow.
So they didn't like her energy. So they were like, oh, you don't seem so excited to be here. Like, as in, are you excited? And then she was like, no, I am. Like, yeah, I think. They goes, okay, or maybe it's just, is it because you're jet lagged? And she was like, yeah, it's just because I'm jet lagged. I'm just tired, And she was like, and it was like 6 a.m. as well. So they were like, okay, yeah, because you just don't seem excited. And then she continues like, no, everything's fine. They're like, okay, everything's fine, cool. And the man started, like, continued interviewing her, and the woman was like, you know what? I don't think you seem excited. I don't even think you seem like you want to be here. So I think we need to, like, cut the show.
Oh God!
Like, you go off. Yeah, she goes, you go off. You do your thing. Do what you want to do. The interview's over. And then they just switched. Like, they had two screens, like this split screen, switched back to one, and they just continued the show. They were like, yeah, we don't need her on the show. This is a Hollywood star.
Wow.
And that's what they did to her. Christina Milian has also had the same thing, where it's like, you don't want to answer a question. Okay, you don't want to answer a question? Goodbye. Get off the radio show. It's over. The interview's over. And it's like, you would be amazed to think that some presenters will treat people like that, but sometimes it does happen. And that's why, if women know in advance, then at least they can be prepared for the shock of something like that if it was to happen.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I kind of probably will have a section in the PR media bundle where I link some of these things so women can see. I remember one of my clients, I sent her the ugly side of the media, and she was like, Queen, why are you sending me this? And I was like, because this is what can happen. This is how easy it is for these things to go wrong.
I think it's a really good idea to make us aware. I mean, I remember, like, you shared, like, even in your Facebook group, like, you shared examples of how different interviews could go. I mean, like the one with Piers Morgan, for instance, like how you can sort of manage to deal with a difficult presenter like Piers, like how to handle yourself in the media and things like that. And it's really good to know how to manage those situations should you ever be in them. That's just sensible.
Exactly.
It's like being prepared for the worst.
Yeah, exactly. And the worst has happened to every single celebrity and every single entrepreneur that has been in the media. Even if it's a small moment, it's still been a moment, like Jennifer Lopez went on stage and everybody was like booing her because of the fact that she had said the N-word in a song.
Oh,
and so she had to redeem herself on stage quickly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely agree, and I love that. So is that something you want to recommend that I put in the bundle?
Well, that's a brilliant idea, but I was thinking also, because there's so much great stuff in there. I mean, like, because we're saying about media etiquette, but then I found really helpful, and I'll go on to answer your question. And the other thing was actually like how to pitch the media, how to follow up with them, all those kinds of things. So there's great resources in the PR media bundle as well. It's just fantastic. So I wanted to add in there. So it's not just all mindset work. There's tools, there's real actionable stuff in there. There's great do's and don'ts. There's all sorts of amazing things in the bundle. It may take you a while to get through it, but you don't have to consume all of it. It's like you need, you grab whatever you don't need right now. it's there for you later, because it's always, we have lifetime access to it anyway, which is fabulous.
Yes,
Um,
exactly.
yeah. So one thing that I found, well, not necessarily missing, because I do appreciate that what you've given us in the PR and media bundle, like there's so much great stuff in there, and like for the investment level, it's just such a huge, well, really, it's a deal. Honestly, the PR and media bundle I could easily have, and I would have been happy to have paid at least 2 or 3 times more than it actually is, just because of all the value that's in there. But and so uh, I have to say that for me to suggest anything else to go in there at the rate that it is right now would seem a bit cheeky, because there's already so much in there for the investment level that you would, to get, we're not even talking thousands and not even many hundreds. I mean,
No,
it's a
exactly.
steal really for all that
It
we
really
get.
is.
It's a steal. But because you insisted that I answer this
Yes.
question, I'm gonna say that what I would personally find really helpful is
Mm,
more around leveraging public speaking and somehow connecting with media opportunities.
brilliant. Okay, perfect. Yeah, that is
So
such a
that's
good
what
one. But
mm,
yes, okay, that sounds so good. And that in a way, this brings me to something I wanted to mention about the bundle is one of the things that I did was to create like a Facebook group so that I could like support women, because I just thought like, would I want a bundle and then just be like, okay, I go for the bundle, and then if I wanted to ask a question, I don't even know where to find the host of the course. So I said to myself, well, if I have this Facebook group, if women wanted to jump in and be like, Queen, I need this answer, what do I do with this? Or the media said this to me, what do I do now? And so I created the Facebook group, and so I'm offering that support there. But what I wanted to do is to continue to add things to the bundle as and when needed. So if I found out that women feel like, oh, I really need this to be in it, then I would add that resource, because I want it to be something that's growing and evolving. Of course, it shouldn't
mm.
become like, it's not meant to turn to a $1,000 program or a $5,000 program, even though it may increase at some point very dramatically, or whether that be in increments. It is going to increase one day, but I wanted it to be super affordable, a low end offer, but at the same time, very, very powerful. Just like how I found a media kit. It was called a director's kit, pageant director's kit. I remember when I purchased that, it was a bit like a bundle, and it was a game changer for me in the pageant world, because I had no idea how to set up my own pageant, and they told me everything. All there was loads of videos, there was all these different PDFs, and it really helped me. And I remember going back to it a few times, and that's what I wanted my bundle to be like. Something that if you're like, oh, I really want to go and do TV presenting, let me just listen to the TV audio, listen to that one,
Yes.
or whatever it would be. So I definitely would be adding something on public speaking, because in a way, that's something I have a lot of experience with. So of course I need to add that in. Definitely 100%. So thank you for that recommendation.
You're welcome.
Yes. So what would you say to anyone that's watching now and they're like, Queen, like I would really love to work with Queen. I'm actually interested in one-on-one or the bundle, or maybe some other course that I may want to bring out soon. Like I'm going to bring out a 3-day intensive, for example. What would you say to them if they're thinking, yeah, I do want to do it, but will this benefit me? Will this benefit my business? Like, what were the tangible results that you got that you can say, whether it's a mindset thing, whether it's the physical interviews that you're booked for, whatever?
Mm-hmm.
What would you say that, yeah, I actually got these tangible results, so that they will be like, oh, good, so Gia got real results, not just like, oh, it was nice and it was good and it was wonderful.
I know, like you say, it is actually about implementing what you're learning, because like you can learn till the cows come home, but it's about, like doing it and taking the steps. So
Yeah.
what I loved about working with you, because as part of no, it wasn't the PR media bundle, it was the other one. What's the other one called? Mastering Media. I know I had
Mastering
access
media.
to, like you were doing the pitching for me, and that was brilliant. So I would say so here's the thing, like if you want to do DIY, the PR and media bundle is brilliant. And if you want to work at your own pace, that's brilliant. You could do that. But if you wanted to have access to Queen, then mastering media as well. And like, especially like if you really don't want to be doing the pitching yourself,
yourself.
definitely, definitely get in touch with Queen because like she'll do all the running around for you. You don't have to.
Yes.
It's fine. And and I got how many interviews? I got 3 or 4 interviews while I was working with you, like during that phase of like doing the mastering
The
media side
pitch.
when you were doing the pitching. I actually got I think it was 4 media opportunities, like I was on podcast shows, and I absolutely loved it. Thoroughly enjoyed the process. And it's like previous to that, I wouldn't have known how to go about reaching out to these ladies, how to position myself, all these kind of things. So it all depends on, I would say, that even if you don't know how to go about starting in PR and media, at
Mm.
least get on a consult with Queen. She will be able to she'll be able to steer you in the right direction, and she will actually tell you what would be the best way for your business, for you and your business to leverage PR and media, for sure.
Thank you, Gia. That is so, so incredible. And I love what you said about, actually steering them in the direction for their business, because that's actually something I find very, very important. Like sometimes I see some women and they say to me, I'm a writer, I love to, I love speaking, I love to be in front of the crowds. And so to me, I'm thinking, yes, it's nice to do a podcast interview, but that's clearly not where you fit. You clearly fit in front of the audience. You belong on stage. Like if you love people and you want to be around them, then maybe something that will be more suitable will be just even making appearances, which I call media appearances. So,
Yes.
well, I didn't make this up, but it's like sometimes women, like if someone says to me that they just love to take photos, for example, oh, I love taking pictures, I love to take pictures with celebrities, I love to take photos of high profile people, then that means they basically would fit in the media in the sense of more than media appearances. If someone says, oh, I hate the camera, I don't want to go near it, it makes me feel uncomfortable, I personally just love to be at home and just give interviews. I've got kids around me and
Mhm.
this. Then I'm going to think, oh, well, podcast interviews would be good, or maybe an online radio interview, and maybe
Exactly.
features like magazine features and so on and so forth. Someone says to me, I don't like writing. I'm not going to say, oh, go and do blogging, because they're not going to want to do it. They're
Exactly.
going to be, what? Yeah. So one of my clients, for example, I remember one of my first clients, she was like, Queen, I only want to be on podcast shows because I'm traveling all over. I just want podcast shows. And
Mm.
I was like, what about TV? What about radio? What about this? She was like, no, just podcast shows. So that's all I focused on. So I think that what you're saying is so, so true. One of the things I do tend to tell ladies is try everything. If you're not really sure where you fit, try everything,
Yeah.
and then you'll figure it out. Like I've been in magazines, I've been on radio, I've been on TV, but my thing is television and my thing is events. Like to me, if you said to me, do you want to be on a podcast show or do you want to go to this like event where you're going to like be around all these like celebrities or politicians or high profile people, I would probably say, give me the television interview and give me the event. These are the two
Mm.
things I want. Give me the tickets to the event. I need to be in the atmosphere. I need to take
Yes.
photos and film and be around people. That's what I love. And speaking, I love to be on stage. So
Mm-hmm.
figure out, yeah, like get on a consultation with me, jump on a strategy session, and we can discuss like where your business really fits. And even if you don't end up working with me, I've seen women do that session and their media pages boomed, or they have now just started to get back into speaking again, or they've started to get into hosting again, or they're just like,
Mm.
something will shift. Basically something will really shift. I really believe that, and I've seen it over and over and over. So yes, thank you so much, Gia, Lily. And I would love to find out where they can find you, and how somebody could work with you if they were interested in as well.
Sure. Okay, so I'm on Facebook as Gia Lily Love and Relationship Coach. I have a Facebook page. You can also find me on Instagram as Gia Lily Gia Lily Love underscore Relationship Coach on Instagram. So they're my two
Brilliant.
platforms, and you'll find me doing interviews for lovely ladies like Queen and anyone else. So yeah, I'm
Yes.
around. I'm around.
That's brilliant. Brilliant. Perfect. Okay, so I mean, I guess I would love to ask you the final question, just because I really something came to my mind about like knowing that you're on a mission now to do things a little bit differently. What do you think about social media? The fact that women in a way limit themselves to social media. And you've kind of decided, as we've talked, I won't really go into what you've just said to me, but you've kind of mentioned that you're really ready to go sort of like out there into the real world and start doing things where it kind of like matters, and just
Yes.
realizing that social media is in a way limited, even though it looks like it's so rosy. There are so many kind of pitfalls there. So what do you think about this idea of women kind of keeping themselves small on social media when there are the PR and the media opportunities, and there are just a world of opportunities that they're not tapping into?
Yes, I mean, I think like especially like in the entrepreneurial space, in the entrepreneurial world, where there are a lot of coaches who perhaps talk about promoting on social media more than anywhere else, because like there are strategies, and like you'll find courses for Instagram, Pinterest, Facebook,
Yeah.
how to grow your following,
Mm-hmm.
and all these kinds of things. And what can happen is like in the doing of that, in the running of our businesses on a day-to-day basis, we can get so caught up. And because we're on our laptops or computers, whatever, however we're running our business, like whatever electronic device we're using, and because social media is just so accessible that it
Yeah.
becomes, I'm going to say it almost becomes lazy. And what
Lazy.
can happen also is that it encourages us. This, bear with me when I say this, and I'm talking from a love and relationship aspect as well. What can
Mm.
is, although we think that we're connecting, there's also a danger of disconnection as well.
Right.
What,
Wow. I love that.
but yes,
I love.
we can
Mm.
get disconnected because no, we're seeing people on like just like you and I now. We're talking on a screen, but I know that in real life, when you and I meet, it'll be the same. But it's not always going to translate that way. And what can happen is that we can get so pulled into the smoke and mirrors of what we're being
Yeah.
shown on social media. And sometimes that doesn't always translate into real life when you meet people. So, that's like from a relationship building aspect I'm talking about. But when it comes to
Mm.
PR and media and like building your business, it can be a little lazy. I'm probably going to be burned at the stake for saying this because I understand it takes a lot of strategy to, to make things like Facebook ads or whatever it is to work. That's a numbers game. It's data. It is hard work.
Yes.
But here's the thing. Marketing doesn't have to be that hard. It's like it's a choice. Do you really want to slog away and see what your data is doing, or do you also want to apply a strategy, like just using human connection, being out
Mm-hmm.
there in events, meeting people in real life as well, to really enhance the know like trust factor and potentially boosting your rate of sales, let's say, and connecting and having more clients and collaborations and all the rest of it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you really want to just stick to social media, or do you also want to add in the human element as well, and doing like the networking side of things? But like you said, not networking in the 90s, because we've moved
Yeah.
past that. We've moved past that. But yeah,
Mm.
that's what my thoughts of it are. And I just want to share with you that actually, since working with you and with another coach of mine, I've actually expanded more, like in terms of my mindset, into actually
Mm-hmm.
being out in the community much more, and wanting to connect with clients offline, like meeting people in
Yes.
real life, doing one-to-one sessions in person.
Mm.
But also, there's something else that you'd mentioned, like also is that what the PR and media world love is your connection to charities, right?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
And I'm giving all your secrets away now. No, not all. There's so many. I'd never be able to do that because like there's so much there, and it's all tucked away in, like in mastering media, in the PR and media bundles. So there's no danger of that.
Yeah. Exactly.
But yeah, I mean, even now, like I'm doing much more in the community in terms of volunteer work and like supporting
Mm.
children's charities. In fact, on a I'm on a call tonight where we're doing like a special event, and we're raising money for a child who has a brain tumor. So like we're putting money together for that child's family. So this is what I mean. Just through PR and media and making those kinds of connections really helps you to really step outside of your comfort zone and really look at the bigger picture. That's what I wanted to say.
That is so, so good. I love it. And I do agree, the charity, you know, a lot of people, I'm going to be honest, some people in the media, they want to know some things about your business. So they'll be like, okay, what have been the challenges? Because you're talking about your multiple six-figure coach and you're a millionaire, billionaire, billionaire, or whatever it is. And they're like, okay, this is amazing. Or, wow, you have, you know, helped so many women to become girl bosses. But what have you also been through, the challenges? So they want to know that. And then they want to know, how do you give back? And that's why a lot of the billionaires and the millionaires, they do give back. Yeah. You know, people think that people that just focus on themselves are just shallow and just like, who cares? And sometimes even the topic of money becomes very shallow if people don't know that they're also giving back. And so when I listen to, for example, Marie Forleo, and she talks about pencils of promise, and I listen to Lewis Howes, and he talks about, you know, him also connecting to the Pencils of Promise charity, and just knowing that her mission for, you know, the Marie Forleo, her whole brand in regards to making all this content and everything, it is also to give entrepreneurial women around the world the same opportunity, using the story of, I think her name is Malawi. There was a girl that basically
Malala.
Exactly, Malala.
Yeah, Malala.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. I love that story. You know, she wants like young girls like that, women like that, to be able to, because there are women in the world, in different parts of the world, that do not have some of the opportunities that we have in the Western world.
Exactly.
And I think that's one of the reasons why I really want women entrepreneurs to break into the media, because it's one of the ways to be able to speak to a young girl in India, or speak to a young girl in Puerto Rico, or speak to a young girl in Africa that would like doesn't even have a mobile phone, but does have a television in her house. Because I remember those days when I was just watching TV and I wasn't going and scrolling on social media. Even though Facebook existed, I wasn't on it. So that is also, imagine like there are still 4 billion people in this world. 3 billion are online. 4 billion haven't still actually jumped onto the internet. They haven't actually started to access this global online space, and they're not on social media. And so it just goes to show that we still have a lot of work to do. And so I love the fact that you're going out into the real world and doing that work. And I encourage women watching to do the same. I'm a former multiple award-winning beauty queen. We've raised about £10,000 for charity in my pageant business. I mean, it's like a very serious thing to raise money for charity in my pageant business. But I've also been a 3 times award winner when it comes to Miss Charity. So I've won Miss Charity Kent, Miss Charity UK, Miss Charity Europe in the Face of Europe competition. And to be honest with you, if I didn't make charity a big focus the way I made it, I doubt I would have had half the media interviews I had. It was a very big deal that they wanted to support me, because I was actually on a mission to support charities. And I think that is definitely one of the golden pieces that's missing. What, like, women might be thinking, why can't I get the interview? What is it? That could be the block. The block is you're not giving back enough. And even if you're just doing it in secret, no one knows about it, it's good, but try and maybe be involved in something where people can also know about it, so that the media will think, oh wow, this person is actually trying to help the world as well, not just receive another client or another 15 million or whatever it would be.
Yeah, exactly.
And I love, to receive clients and money just like anybody else, but I do think that giving back is something that is so powerful. And there's nothing like meeting children in real life in a charity, like you said, charity organization, and just seeing them and knowing that you actually have helped them in some way, shape or form.
Yeah.
So trust me, I love it. So is there anything else you want to say before we wrap up our live interview?
Get the PR media bundle.
Yeah, get the PR media bundle. I'm going to drop the link below.
Yeah, yes. I would definitely encourage talking to Queen if you're just a little bit curious, even if you're remotely interested in anything that I've shared with you about my experiences, or you loved what Queen has said as well, and you think, how can this work for me? Definitely book in for a consult, for a free consult, because even in that, she gives so much great info. You know, you definitely don't go away empty-handed with Queen. Yeah.
Thank you so much. It has been a pleasure to interview you and to hear your success story. And I'm so excited for what you're going to achieve in 2019.
Thank you so
um,
much.
Thank you. You're so, so welcome. And I'll just quickly say hello to everyone that's been jumping on. So hello, Jaffa. Hello, Pastor Mrs. King. Hello, Tess. Hello, Rosaline. And hello, Harriet. Thank you so much for jumping on.
Hello,
Actually,
everyone.
Harriet is actually one of my, we work together in Ben TV. We are very wonderful friends. And she actually just featured a few of my clients in her magazine. She's got the magazine called Her Story magazine. And it's so amazing because we worked together in television and now we're still connecting and working together in a different way through me sort of like, you know, being able to recommend some of my clients for her magazine. And it's quite interesting the connections you can make if you're willing to open yourself up to PR thing. And that's why I do love the media world and what it can offer you if you're willing to take those brave steps. So, and I just posted these features on my page, and the reaction, just the way everybody's like, oh my gosh, wow, congratulations to the clients and so on and so forth, well done, da, 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 da. And it's like, it's not just the fact that they've been featured, but it's where the feature goes. It's like the very fact that it could be 15,000 women that read the magazine and they're like, oh my goodness, this has helped me, this has changed my life. So thank you so much, Gia, Lily, and thanks to everyone that's watching. Hi Caitlin, thanks for jumping on. Thank you. And yeah, make sure you drop your links, Gia.
I was going to say, yeah, how would you like me to do do you want me to just put the links in the comments, or?
Yes, feel free to drop in your links so that they can follow you or they can book in a consultation with you.
Yes, I was going to say I'll free consults as well. Yes, definitely for singles and couples, I'll put them both in. Yeah, definitely. Fabulous. Thank you so much, Queen. I've had so much fun.
You are so welcome. Thank you so much. And I can see Harriet saying, hi, Queen. Hi, Harriet. Thank you so much for jumping on. So I'll see you all very soon. And God bless you all. Take care. This is Queen from queenchimemedia.com. Bye.
Bye.